So today, I'm going to be trying hyperrealism for the first time. To be clear, I've been doing decent realistic portraits for a while now. They look realistic enough and I'm happy with what I create. But lately, I've been seeing everybody taking things to the next level. If what I did was realism, they did hyperrealism. Was it inspiration, motivation, or just plain jealousy? Well, I don't know. Whatever the case, I just could not continue looking at awesome drawings on Instagram without doing anything. I had to make something magnificent myself. I found a killer reference photo on Instagram, so it's time we grade it and draw the outline for the face. The child's play is over now. It's time to start this grand portrait. And if you thought that I was going to start with something else, then you must be joking, because here at this legendary art, we always start with the eyes. Tip when drawing: when your charcoal pencil is in a pitiful condition like this, don't be lazy. Get your blade out and sharpen it. Whatever lines or strokes you get when your pencil is well sharpened will always be better than when it is blunt. Now we start the first step for the hyperrealism, and that is creating the wrinkles for the eyes. I get my kneaded eraser out, mold it into a fine point, and I dab white lines on the paper to form the wrinkle pattern.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone.
Well, the eyes are done. It's time we get started on the main meat of the project, shading the skin itself. We are going to start with the nose using our 2B graphite pencil, and then later on we'll get to use the charcoal powder. Since this is my first venture into hyperrealism, I watched a ton of YouTube tutorials. There were many different processes, many different methods that everyone used to create their hyperrealistic skin. But one thing I noticed is that they first created a base shade. They shaded the skin normally with graphite or charcoal first before they started to add the skin texture. And that is exactly what we are doing now. I wanted to start to create the skin texture for the nose right away, but I thought, let's not be hasty. Let's kill two birds with one stone and shade the cheeks also, so that we can create the skin texture for everything together. Okay, now to create the skin texture, what I did was that I created dark dots first. And I did not just create these dots blindly. I looked at the reference photo and I noticed that they came in different shapes, not just circular dots. You'll also want to pay attention to the direction of the skin texture.
We will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh,
Now, after creating the dark dots, the next thing that we do is to create the white dots, the white parts of the skin pores. Now, the Tombow Mono Eraser would have been the best for this since it has a small tip. But since I don't have that, well, I'm going to use what I've got, and that is the kneaded eraser. And now we move on to the forehead. But at this point, I had already gotten some experience with this. Rather than start with the darker dots, I started with the white dots instead. It was also around this time that I posted on my Instagram, and Art by Russell suggested to use blending stump for the dark dots rather than using a pencil like I did previously. At this point, the drawing was already taking too long, but I moved on with the lips. I lay base shade also for this as usual, and then I add the details on top later.
Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more.
Now usually when nighttime approaches, I pack up and I call it a day. But darkness is not stopping us today. We have to finish this as quickly as possible.
I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone. It's so cold outside. It's so cold.
But you know what they say, body no be firewood. The body needs its rest.
Tomorrow is another day, I guess. I'm tired.
It's a new day, man is refreshed. Now let's finish this thing. This took me roughly 9 hours to finish over a span of 2 weeks, so I hope you enjoyed this so far because it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the reveal.